How long did you live in the Philippines before you left?
I left when I was like 14, going on
Oh, wow,
my 15th
okay.
birthday. Yeah, so I was still in my teenage years.
So you live with your stepdad, you said, and your mom?
Yeah. So I was adopted when I was 3.
Mm.
Before I was adopted, I was actually living with my grandma, and it was like in the slums. Like we were very poor.
Mm.
So yeah.
So you grew up kind of in a poor, especially poor place
Yeah.
in the Philippines with your grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever know your biological parents?
No. And I feel like I'm scared to know, and I don't want to know because I feel like meeting them would be just really awkward.
Mm. Mm.
I always wonder about that. Some people, I guess, choose to like go and look for their biological parents, but yeah, it seems like I don't know if I would want to do that.
Yes, I'm sure the emotion is so complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't empathize, but I'm sure that. Do you think about them ever, or is that something that's kind of you don't even think about on a day-to-day basis? Like,
Yeah, I don't really think about it. Yeah, because I was really young. I don't even remember if I saw them or yeah.
So, do you remember like your grandma? Do you talk to your grandma still back in the Philippines?
She actually passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Last year. So, but yeah, I used to talk to her. Super sweet.
So you live with your grandma, and then you were adopted.
Mm-hmm.
You live with this family on the farm, and you lived there till you were 13. And
14.
Or 14?
Yeah.
Tell me about I'm just curious. You worked on a farm. Like, what was your daily schedule?
It was very hard, actually, because I have to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m.?
Yeah.
I do. Oh,
actually, 4 a.m. would be late. Sometimes I have to wake up at 3 if I want to get to school in time, because in the Philippines, school starts at like 6:30.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I have to be able to finish all the chores. So I'd be sweeping the yard, like picking up dog shit.
Tons of dog shit.
Yeah, I'd be cleaning up the cat house because we had a cat house, and I'd be sweeping goat poop in the goat pen.
Just a lot of cleaning up shit.
Yeah, and I have to clean up real good because if I don't, then my stepdad would get mad at me, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're not eating breakfast if you don't get this done."
Wow.
So yeah.
That sounds like I think bordering on abusive.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize that until I got to the States that I was going through that. To me, it was normal, and yeah, it was.
So you would wake up at 3 a.m., clean a bunch of shit, and then like, how would your stepdad decide if you did a good job or not?
He usually just checks the yard, and
you just see if
he sees like a poop in the ground.
You don't eat breakfast.
Yeah, sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Sometimes he just like slap me or I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And your stepmom, was she like protective of you, or was she also?
She wasn't really like abusive, but she was. I felt like she could have, said something about it. Yeah, but she was very silent about it.
Jeez.
And like my nickname was like stupid bitch growing up. Yeah, that was my nickname.
What?
And
at home?
It's hard because in the Philippines, like whatever happens in your neighbor's like house, you have to mind your own business. Like it's none of your business. So it's hard when I tell people like what's going on in the house, and nobody seems to give a shit.
So you tried asking for help from people.
Yeah, in school, and then I realized like nobody gives a shit. Like I went to school one time with a swollen hand on my right hand, and it was like bleeding, and I tried to like stop the bleeding before I got to school, but it was really bad. And my teacher was asking me why am I so like slow at writing that day, because
like,
and I told her, yeah, my hands are swollen and I can't write with my right hand, so I had to write with my left hand. And she was just like, oh, okay, just hurry the fuck up. And I'm like, okay, like nobody gives a shit.
No questions asked.
So yeah.
So the culture there is very much mind your business.
Yeah.
Don't get involved in other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa. So did you have like siblings on the growing up there?
Yeah.
Were they also getting the same treatment?
No, my 2 sisters, they're treated way differently. And
You have two sisters.
Yeah, older sisters. I'm the youngest, and I also have an older brother, which he's here right now. You guys met him.
Was he, or well, I won't involve him. Your two older sisters were like not treated the same way?
Yeah, they had like a special treatment. They didn't really had to clean poop like that. All they did was really like maybe clean up inside the house, but they never actually cleaned outside that much.
Why is that? Why do you think they targeted you? Does that fuck with your head?
I don't know. I always thought maybe because me and my brother were like the younger siblings, so we were
Your
doing
brother
like
got
the dirty work too, you know?
Your brother got the treatment too?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why we're like super close.
It's like Cinderella, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my brother was talking.
You're literally like Cinderella.
Yeah. It's pretty tough.
So it was like that the whole time growing up in the Philippines. Did you resent your siblings were like treated well?
I always thought it wasn't fair, but I mean, I couldn't really do anything about it. They were also like bullying me, and
Bro, what the hell?
yeah,
Golly.
they always got
That
like
is
the
rough.
nice things, and I would get like the handover, like here's my old bag, or like yeah, and that's also why I got bullied in school, because I would go to school with like holes in my shoes and like
People make fun of you
Yeah.
because you're getting treated like shit at home.
yeah.
What a
And
world.
one time I got so embarrassed because my stepdad decided that my brother and I shouldn't be showering before we go to school. We should shower at night. So cleaning up like poop
Oh.
and
yeah.
shit like that, of course I'm gonna like smell, but I asked him like, can we shower in the morning instead? And he's like, no, you don't have
Oh
time
my
for that.
God.
Yeah, do your work, eat breakfast, go to school.
What's wrong with
So-
him? You ever think about that? Like, what is wrong with him? It sounds like he's a
Um,
deeply disturbed person.
He recently said that he was diagnosed with PTSD because he was in the army
Okay.
for like 20 years, and that was his excuse. But I felt like, I don't know, I felt like, I mean, I have PTSD and I don't go around and hurt people, you know, or take advantage of like people. So
Is there some part of you now that you've become successful where you're like, fuck these people, bro? Like they were treating me like shit. Now I bet they fucking wish that they were good to me. There's got to be like
Yeah.
a little taste of like, fuck them.
yeah, so they've been like reaching out to me and like, oh, we should
Yeah.
hang soon or meet. And it's funny because they think that when I go and meet them, they think I'll change my mind and be like, oh yeah, like
All good.
yeah,
Nice
all
to
good.
see you.
Yeah, it's very hard for them to accept what happened in the past. Like they can't accept it.
Mhm.
You think in their minds they are like, oh, wasn't that bad?
Yeah,
Mm.
and the way they apologize to me is like, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Oh,
Mm. The worst
And
one.
It was that made me feel so angry, and I'm like, why would you say something like that? Like